Hey everyone, I welcome you all to this video. And today in this video, we are going to discuss about the Power BI course introduction. But before even beginning with the introduction of the course, let's discuss about how much you can expect or make as a data analyst or a Power BI developer. So if you are a fresher or a working professional who has off late started into the data industry and is a Power BI developer, as a data analyst, or is looking for a job as a Power BI developer or a data analyst, so you can expect anywhere between 4 to 8 lakhs per annum. But again, it might depend on the company as well. So depending on the different organizations, let's say if you're going for a multinational company or a big organization, then they can offer you more as well. But on an average, I think as a beginner or as a person who has off late started, you can definitely expect anywhere between 4 to 8 lakhs per annum. Now let's discuss about the course, and let's first of all have a small discussion around that what is Power BI and why do we use it, right? So Power BI is nothing but it's a Microsoft's product, and it helps us to get useful information from the data. So data, generally it is in a form where we directly cannot use it for reporting purposes and helping the businesses to take best possible business decisions in least possible time, right? So Power BI helps us in transforming, structuring, preparing this data, and then using this data to create attractive visuals. And then we tell compelling stories using those reports, those visuals. And then ultimately we are able to help the businesses and stakeholders to take useful data-driven decisions, ultimately which help them in enhancing their revenue or getting some other sort of benefit, right? So that's the reason we use these type of tools. Power BI is not the only tool in the market. There are other tools as well, like we have Looker, we have ClickView, we have Tableau. But again, Power BI is one of the widely used tools. And again, since it's a Microsoft's product, so when it comes to integrating with other Microsoft products, so it's one of the advantage with Power BI. So that is also one of the reasons it is widely used in the industry. So that's all right. That's all about the Power BI tool. Now let's talk about the contents of the course that we have created. So in the very first part, we have data visualization. We have discussed about data visualization. So when you will learn about data visualization, especially with Power BI Desktop, you will get a chance to become more familiar with the tool, and you will get to know about the general interface of the tool and different types of default visuals which are available in Power BI. So this is the first section. There is the second section. We have discussed about Power Query Editor. So Power Query Editor is basically the heart of Power BI, because here you can perform all sorts of data transformations. As I already told it to you, that data generally it is not in a form where we can directly use it to create beautiful reports and dashboards. So we first of all have to bring it in a form where we can create useful reports, beautiful reports, and convey insights and information through them. So Power Query Editor is basically used for that, and it is a self-service ETL tool, you can say, in Power BI itself. In the third section, we have discussed about DAX. So DAX, again, this is an important language in Power BI. It's a functional language, basically. And DAX refers to data analysis expressions. So we have discussed about DAX in the third section. Then after that, in the fourth section, we have discussed about the first project, which is based on sales data analysis. In this project, we have also discussed about the data modeling part, which is one of the most important part, and you can certainly expect questions from the modeling part in interviews. Basically, whatever we have covered and taught in this entire project, we have kept interviews in mind, and then we have created the content accordingly, because whatever has been covered will certainly help you in clearing the interviews, right? And even if you are a data scientist or a data engineer, and if you want to study Power BI using this course, this will certainly help you a lot, right? So the content has been created in that way. After that, in the second project, we have discussed about insurance data analysis. Here we have discussed about various other features in Power BI. We have discussed about implementing row-level security, sharing the reports and dashboards with others. We have discussed about using custom visuals, using default visuals. So different parts have been covered in this project as well. Then there is one more project, that is the third project. In this project, we have discussed about UPI transactions data analysis. And then there's a miscellaneous section. So this is a course that we have created. But again, we will keep on enriching and enhancing this content, and we will keep on adding more content in the miscellaneous section, right? So let's say there can be questions based on scenarios, different scenarios. So they can be scenario-based questions, they can be interview questions, they can be some questions, additional questions and exercises based on Power Query Editor. There can be some questions related to DAX, some interview questions. So we will keep on enhancing and enriching this content as well. Apart from that, in the last section, we have interview questions. So I have provided a PDF along with this course in which you have around 30 questions. And these 30 questions, I believe, are the most important questions that you should be aware of, because you can expect these questions in the interviews. So that's all about the content part. And in order to get more detail about the content, you can refer to the curriculum. There's an Excel sheet that I've uploaded along with this video. So it consists of the curriculum. You can go through the entire curriculum. Now, moving on to the next slide. Yes, that is also one of the most important things that we should discuss, that what is the day-to-day working of a data analyst, right? So as a data analyst on day-to-day basis, again, the daily meetings happen, right? So Scrum call can be there, or daily team meetings can be there. So we need to attend those meetings, attend those daily calls, and we need to give an update of like what we have been working on, what are the challenges that we are facing, if there is some help that we can expect from other team members, so we can have a word with them in these meetings, right? So the very first thing is attending daily calls. Then we have part B, that is extracting, cleaning, and analyzing the data. So obviously, there can be different sources from where you need to pull the data. You then need to clean it, prepare it, structure it, and then you need to draw some insights based on that. And then you need to analyze this data, right? So we basically work on this part as well. Then we have documentation. So whatever at times we have created, we need to document it while interacting with the clients, or if there is some process that we are defining, so it is required to do the documentation work as well. So you should be good with the documentation part as well. Then we have client interaction. So when we are creating the reports and dashboards, so we get internal, external feedbacks, we get different sort of feedback. So it is required to interact with the client, with the manager, with other team members at times. So there might be some feedback, and we need to work on that. And for all those things, we have to interact with the client, right? So you should be good with the communication skills as well. May it be written communication, may it be oral communication, because all that will be required while interacting with the client, and in fact, other team members as well. Then in point number E, we have collaborating with different teams. So at times when we are creating the reports, so there are certain key performance indicators and metrics. KPIs and metrics are basically, the measures that we use to track the performance of the business. So in order to know about certain business logics, it might be required to connect with different teams, right? In order to get the data access, in order to get all your technical stuff set up, you might have to interact with IT team, other teams as well, right? So you need to collaborate with different teams in that way. So that is also day-to-day working of a data analyst. Then preparing ad hoc reports. At times there can be requests from your manager or maybe from the client to prepare some ad hoc reports, and you might need to present it. You might need to show some insights to that. So that is also day-to-day working of a data analyst. And responding to queries, questions on mails. So you might also get certain questions on the reports that you have created, and there might be some questions related to the logics that you have used, the KPIs that you have represented, and there can be a lot of things, right? So it can be expected from you to respond to those queries, questions that you get on mail. So again, I would like to say that you should be good with the written communication part as well. Then incorporating feedbacks. We have already discussed about the internal and external feedbacks that you can either get from the client or might be from the team members, from the manager, and you need to work on incorporating those feedbacks. Then one more important point, that is sharing and maintaining the reports. So you need to share the reports with other colleagues, right? If you have created the reports, then you can share it with others. And at that time, you should also keep in mind that data and reports are like assets. So you have to maintain the reports, and you should also keep in mind that you should share these reports only with those people with whom it should be shared with, right? Because these reports and dashboards consist of important data, and all the people might not be having the access to all this information. So you should keep that in mind. And while sharing the reports, you should be aware of all these things as well. Apart from that, we have preparing reconciliation and data validation reports. So basically, when we create the Power BI reports, we validate the reports, and we might create some reconciliation reports as well to check to see that whether the data that is being represented in the Power BI report and the data that is present in the source itself, these two data sets are reconciling or not, whatever we have represented on the report is appropriate or not, because the stakeholder or the business owner will be using these reports to take business decisions, important business decisions. So we need to make sure that whatever is being represented on the report of the dashboard is accurate, right? The numbers are correct. So for that purpose, we prepare reconciliation and validation reports as well. So that is also one of the activities that a data analyst works on day-to-day basis. So all right, that's all that I had to discuss, and we'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss more about Power BI. So I hope this video was helpful. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.